So we'll start with the four lower centers. The context is that we all know this Socrates was supposed to be the wisest man in antiquity, and his most famous slogan was "Know thyself." The fourth way, it's very important, this "know thyself" concept, and there are many. And this know yourself, you can look at it as a very complex hologram that you can look at it from different points of view. So some way of understanding knowing yourself is to, let's say, know your psychology, know various patterns or patterns of reactivity, patterns of thought, self-pity, vanity, patterns of trigger, predominant emotions and ways of reacting. So this is some aspect of knowing oneself. There is a deeper aspect of knowing oneself, which is knowing the true self, knowing the knower, which we'll go into this later. Knowing that which is aware of the patterns and of the thoughts. And then what we're going to talk today, and the fourth way is very unique in this way as compared to other traditions, is that to know our hardware, know the biocomputer. We talked before about the machine. In 1900, Gurdjieff used the word that this human being, human body mind as the machine, just stimulus response machine. I would say that more adapted to our time to call it this human being species, human body mind species as a biocomputer. Very complex, most sophisticated biocomputer. So we are going to touch today on this knowing the biocomputer and how it works, the hardware as opposed to the software. The software would be that all that we learned, all the habits we got from our parents, all the do's and don't do's and the right and the wrong and how you need to be as a good little girl and all of this programming or conditioning, this comes later. But now we want to explore and study a little bit the actual functions themselves, functions or the lower centers, as they are called in the fourth way. So in this system, the idea is that although we have a brain, one brain governing the activity of the body mind, of the biocomputer, the idea is that this brain coordinates. Actually, the brain itself is divided into three different parts, which is the oldest part, the reptilian brain, and then there's the limbic brain, connected to relational, emotional, mammalian, and then there's a frontal cortex, connected with more like the intellect. So in the fourth way, the idea is that we have actually three different minds. We usually think we have this mind or one brain that creates this sense of me. Hey, it's me. Me, Mihai. I'm talking to you. But in the system, they say that actually this biocomputer is, there are three different distinct functions that they are totally correlated with each other, but they have very different separate functions, three different centers. That's why in the fourth way, Gurdjieff would call it that a human being is a three brain being, three brain being. And these three functions are, one is the intellectual function, and we call it the intellectual center, which the intellectual center governs the activity, concepts, thinking, abstract thought, theories. We'll go into it later. Then there's the emotional center, the emotional function, which is in connection to our feelings, with our emotions, very much governs this, our relational, interactional field, feeling each other and adapting to each other, and all of this relational field. There's the emotional center. The emotional center also is connected to art, beauty, religion, mysticism. And then the third center, or the third function, will be, and here it will be like the moving instinctive center. Moving instinctive center. So the third level is actually has three different subcategories, like the moving center, which is connected to all the movements that we had to learn. When a baby comes here and is like in that helpless state, and very soon it learns to crawl, or it learns to sit up, and then it learns to walk, and then it learns to tie the shoes, and so then it learns to drive, then it learns to be an architect, and then it learns to snowboard and all that. So the moving center is all the movement, the kinetic aspect of the body that it was blank at the beginning, so we had to learn. The instinctive center is the only center is fully programmed from birth. It already knows what to do. It's connected to all the internal activity, automatic, instinctive activity of the body, digestive function, circulatory function, excretory function, the senses, the tastes, cold, heat, all of this. Somehow the body is already doing that by itself. It grows itself and it is functioning by itself. We don't have to learn that. It is the only center that is fully formed. That's the instinctive center, pleasure, pain, hot and cold, as well as the, like immune system and the digestive system, all of that. There is also the sex center, which is responsible for procreation as well as creation. We are going to go into it later. So it might be confusing for you because I said three brain being. The idea is that the moving, instinctive, and sex center, they form one unit. This will be like the body. And it is more, we are going to go into it. So instinctive, moving, sex center is like one unit. It's one mind. Then the emotional center is another unit, and the intellectual center is another unit. So that's why we are like three brain being. A deer or a horse is a two brain being, meaning that there's an emotional center and the moving instinctive sex center. So we are the only species that has complex developed intellect. Some of the monkeys started to have a beginning of the actual intellect, abstract thought. So that's what we are going to go in each one of them today. Also, each one of them, I will give it to Peter very soon. Each one of them each of this intellectual center, emotional center, moving center, instinctive center, they are firing impulses. They are firing impulses like thoughts or emotions. I would say impulses, and each impulse is each impulse in the second state of consciousness, it comes as me, as an I. Like, oh, I got to put gas. I need to put gas. I forgot to put gas and pay these bills. And then watching somebody like, oh, what a hypocrite. And then somebody, you know, my partner was a little edgy this morning and felt a little, some emotional thing, or, donuts, or burger. I want that. So each of the centers, they fire impulses, which in the fourth way is called one I. And the idea is that we think we have one I, like, hey, this is me, I. However, in the system, the idea is that we are not made of one I, is there are many, many, many I's, which are these impulses fired continuously from all of these centers. And each one of them is king for a day. I mean, is in charge for a moment. And due to our lack of awareness, we identify with each one of them.